Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to get your fashion designs made into real life garments. So if you've got amazing fashion ideas and you really want to get it produced, so your collection produced or just individual pieces, maybe you want to start your own fashion label, well then this is the video for you. So the first obvious step is to get your design ideas onto paper, and many of you might just sketch them by hand, which is absolutely perfect, but the professional way of getting them made is to first of all get them onto what they call a flat drawing. So I'm just going to zoom in here, hopefully you can see. So I've got my mini collection here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So it's all going to be merchandise together, and it's a 2D sketch. It's a lot easier to put construction details and details about my design if it's in 2D. So from here you have to put it into what they call a spec sheet or specification sheet, which is part of a tech pack. So a tech pack is just a technical pack of all of the details about your design. So I've got a little spaghetti strap dress here. On my spec sheet I've got an image of the belt buckle I'd like them to source. I also have the details of the length of the dress, the width of the straps, opening details like zip. I want an invisible zip here, so you're going to be putting things like buttons, zips, all of that kind of thing. You also will have the fabrication in here, so it's very important to put the weight and the type of fabric, and if there's any lining, so don't forget about the lining, lined or not lined. And from here I quite often select a fabric that I think is going to be suitable. If I'm tossing up between 2 fabrics, I might actually ask my supplier to do 2 samples, one in one fabric, one in the other, and then I can see which one's going to have the best drape. So to get your designs made, you're going to send this spec sheet to a pattern maker and sample machinist, or to a manufacturer. Now, advantages of both. A pattern maker and sample machinist perhaps could be local to you, so you can actually have face-to-face contact, talk about the design, and sometimes it's just a little bit easier being in front of someone to explain your design ideas. I do find the local pattern makers and sample machinists, this is like more expensive way to get your samples made, but it is quite convenient. Now, the second way is to send your spec sheet straight to the manufacturer. Now, the manufacturer quite often has a sample room with a sample machinist and pattern maker, and your samples are going to be a lot cheaper this way because the manufacturer wants your bulk production order. So if you intend on getting your designs made into bulk production, this would be the better way to go in my opinion. But of course, you can still do a local pattern maker and sample machinist to get it right first. That's definitely an option. So you will send this sheet plus any fabric swatches across to your manufacturer. If I do a production trip to meet my manufacturer, it's not always, you don't always have to do this. I pick up a lot of fabric swatches, and so I've got a library happening at home. So when I go to design something, I've got it in front of me and I can feel and touch the different fabrics and I know what's available. If you don't have this, you can include just a fabric swatch from a local fabric store and then ask the manufacturer to source something similar from their local marketplace or local fabric store. So just remember, your manufacturer will do all of the sourcing and find the buckles and the trims and the fabrics from their local fabric market wherever they are. So from here in this particular design, I had my own print. So I used Adobe Illustrator to create this beautiful leopard print in pastel colors, and I selected my base fabric, which was a linen fabric. I sent the artwork file to the fabric printer, which is just down the road from my manufacturer, and I got what they call a print strike off. So once I approved this print strike off, I could then start printing the fabric with my own design. So while the fabric printing was happening, my manufacturer manufacturer actually did my first sample of my design, which we call our first prototype. So quite often your first prototype is done in a plain fabric. So it's not the fabric that will be the final fabric. It's just basically to approve the fit and the pattern of your design. So your first prototype, you're going to be trying it on. You're going to make comments of how it needs to be improved. You know, maybe you want things to be thinner or thicker. It needs to be tapered in some parts. You'll make all of your changes and then request a second prototype, which is made in the correct fabric with all of your changes. So for myself, this was my second prototype that came in with my design. So it's in the correct fabric and it's looking absolutely perfect. They made all of my changes. They weren't able to source the belt buckle that I wanted, but they came out with a really great variation, which I was quite happy with. This one's like a tortoise, well, it's like a shell kind of buckle, so I was quite happy with this. So if I'm happy with this, I will approve this sample and do a bulk production order. So this would then be called a pre-production sample, because it's the sample right before they start bulk production. So while I have bulk production happening, I will usually photograph this pre-production sample or my second prototype, because it's very similar to my bulk production. So I will work out my photo shoot location, choose my models, and work out the stuff. And hopefully you can see this. This is photos from the shoot that we did. We've got a few different photos there, and you can see the close-up. So all of these images were ready to roll. So then when the bulk production was ready, we could just hit live and start selling the designs straight away. So that's probably the most effective way to get your designs made and start selling them. So we want to hear from you. Are there any questions to this process? I know it's a lot for a lot of people to take on. If you already have your own fashion label, we want to hear from you. Comment below, introduce yourself, and we want to know, like, have you found this production process easy of getting your designs made? For those of you who want to know some contacts, like, are you struggling to find contacts? Let us know below, and if we have enough people who are interested in working out how to find the best manufacturers, we'll do a video for you. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Give us a big thumbs up if you did, and hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when we release our next helpful video on the tricks and tips of the fashion industry.